Hey everyone, it's Pastor Phil Janish, and welcome to our Sunday preparation meditation for this week. Did you know that we need a prophet? That's something we don't think about very often, the fact that we need a prophet. A prophet is a messenger from God. A prophet is a special person to whom God has given his word, and this prophet speaks to the people on behalf of God. And there's actually a lot of conflict on who the greatest prophet is and which prophet we should follow. For example, in the Mormon faith, they claim that Joseph Smith was a prophet called by God, and so they follow the Book of Mormon. In the Muslim religion, they have this saying called the Creed, which goes, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet." Muhammad is the greatest prophet that there is. And actually, the Bible kind of tells us who the greatest prophet is. In the Old Testament, it tells us it was Moses. In the book of Deuteronomy, when Moses passes away, the book of Deuteronomy says there has never arisen in Israel a prophet like Moses. And for Jews, Moses is kind of the final authority. And we Christians too acknowledge that Moses is God's prophet, one of the prophets through whom that God has revealed things. But there is one prophet who supersedes all of them, and that is Jesus. You see, Moses, while being a great prophet, was actually a picture of Christ. And God promises us in our Old Testament lesson for this coming Sunday that he would raise up a prophet like Moses. God says this, "What they say is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites, and I will put my words in his mouth. He will tell them everything I command him." So that was God telling Moses that he would raise up a prophets for the Israelites and put his words in his mouth. And God raised up many prophets, but the ultimate prophet that he raised up was Christ. And the author to the Hebrews, which we're going to hear in our second lesson this Sunday, actually tells us that Jesus is greater than Moses. It says in Hebrews 3 verse 3, "Jesus has been found worthy of greater honor than Moses, just as the builder of a house has greater honor than the house itself. For every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of everything. Moses was faithful as a servant in all God's house, bearing witness to what would be spoken by God in the future. But Christ is faithful as the Son over God's house. And we are his house if indeed we hold firmly to our confidence and the hope in which we glory." So that passage says that Christ is worthy of greater honor than Moses. You see, Moses was a servant in God's household, but Christ is the Son. He is the heir and the final authority. So we have a prophet. Our prophet is Jesus, and he is the ultimate and final authority. What he says goes. And even a number of times, especially in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus will say things like this. He says, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.'" And Jesus is referencing Moses. But then Jesus says, "But I say to you, if you look at a woman lustfully, you have already committed adultery with her in her heart." Jesus references himself. Moses told you this. I'm telling you this. Jesus is a prophet greater than Moses. And he's still living. Christ rose from the dead, and he is reigning up in heaven, and he has given us his word, so our prophet Jesus still speaks to us through his word. So who's the greatest prophet? It's not Joseph Smith. It's not Mohamed. It's not even Moses, although Moses was a great prophet. The greatest prophet, the one we follow, is Jesus Christ. We'll hear more about that, about how Christ has authority, and he has authority as our prophet. We'll talk more about that in church this Sunday. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.